Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Friday, August 15th, reveal that Johnny DiMera will fire E.J. DiMera for trashing Chanel Dupree DiMera in court. Leo Stark's weird juror roommate will also make some confessions, so here's what Days viewers can look forward to. First, on Friday's Duel episode, Paulina Price will open up to Belle Black about her concerns. Since E.J. is determined to put the focus on all the other suspects with motives to take him out, Chanel is next on the list. Paulina will fret over the possibility of Chanel landing in prison instead if E.J. is too convincing. Between the Chanel video evidence and the fact that E.J. remembered his shooter was female, Paulina will definitely grow worried about her daughter's future. However, Johnny is the one on trial at the moment, so he'll give E.J. some instructions. Although Johnny will ask E.J. to soften the blow when it comes to questioning Chanel, E.J. will do just the opposite. Days spoilers say E.J. will totally trash Chanel in court and make her look guilty. That'll rile Johnny up and convince him to fire E.J. as his attorney, though he may change his mind once he cools off. As for Leo, he'll get better acquainted with his strange juror roommate. A man named Adam has been sequestered with Leo, so they'll spend some time chatting while they wait for court to resume. It turns out Adam is a big Body and Soul fan, so how will he feel about the work Leo did when he wrote for the show? Will Adam appreciate Leo's old storylines or be glad the soap made headwriter updates? Other Days spoilers say Sophia Choi will console Tate Black since he'll be down in the dumps, presumably over the adoptive parents denying his request to visit the baby. Sophia won't tell Tate that the adoptive parents don't really exist and that Melinda Trask is the one behind the devastating letter instead. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Tate will continue to crave closure, so Sophia will fret over her Tesoro secret and try to keep him in the dark on the news. Xander arrives for Victoria at the Kyriakis mansion as Sarah cleans up their daughter's toys. She's abrupt and blunt about his therapy with Marina, and he's hungover and contrite after his drunken shenanigans. He asks for coffee for his headache, but gets a classic soap opera slap to the face instead. Sarah just wanted him to know what it's like to be on the receiving end of flying fists, but it's also for breaking their marriage vows with Gwen. Xander admits to going to Gwen's hotel room, but he didn't sleep with her. He could never cheat on her. Sarah points out that he did cheat by kissing that horrible woman who did horrible things to her. She tearfully shouts for him to get Victoria and leave. Kristen and Rachel eat at the pub after shopping. A sullen Rachel knows Kristen just bought her stuff because she had to testify at Johnny's trial. Maybe after Kristen testifies, her mommy will take her shopping too. Rachel is so glad E.J. finally told Kristen where her mother was. She missed her. With Brady running late due to a flat tire, Kristen tells Rachel she'll have to go back to court with her. Rachel freaks out, exclaiming that she doesn't want to go. Johnny comes home to excitedly fill Chanel in on E.J.'s hypnosis session, which indicates that a woman was the shooter. Chanel worries E.J. will implicate her when she takes the stand, but that's okay. E.J. can throw her under the bus all he wants if it clears Johnny's name. She loves him, and once she's done testifying, she'll be by his side in court until the trial is over. At the DiMera mansion, Gwen interrupts E.J.'s flashback to yesterday's episode when he asked Marina if she thought Samantha shot him. Gwen pours them drinks as E.J. updates her on the latest with the trial. He doesn't know who shot him, but he's sure Marlena does. Gwen's eyes gleam as they try to untangle the mystery. They deduce the shooter is someone E.J. and Marlena both want to protect. After eliminating Sami, Gwen says, "Blood hell! It was Belle Black who tried to murder you, wasn't it?" Gwen eventually dismisses the theory, but E.J. knows Belle would have had her reasons. At the penthouse, Marlena admits to Belle that she has an idea of who shot E.J., but she doesn't have any proof. However, it's best that she not say more, since Belle is so intertwined in the case. At the courthouse, Johnny tries to talk to E.J. about Chanel, but his attorney, Father, is too busy preparing for Marlena's testimony. In the corridor, Belle apologizes to Marlena for having to attack her credibility on the stand. An always understanding Marlena assures her she's there for her no matter what happens. It's one of the few things in life Belle has never doubted. When Marlena takes the stand, she states that while under hypnosis, E.J. remembered the shooter was a woman, sending a buzz through the gallery. Therefore, EJ tells the jury, John Roman DiMera is completely innocent. On cross-examination, Belle gets her mother to admit that even under hypnosis, EJ could be lying. But on redirect from EJ, Marlena says she believes EJ's memory is legitimate and genuine. Outside Sweet Bits, Paulina meets Chanel, ready to support her in court. Chanel insists she'll be fine and even understands EJ's strategy. But Mama Bear Paulina does not. There's no way in hell she'll let EJ put Chanel behind bars to protect his son. Chanel is confident that EJ's defense will prove there are numerous people who could have shot him. If he has to point the finger at me, so be it. And since Johnny is instructing EJ not to throw her under the bus, I think I will be just fine. Famous last words, right? Across the square with Victoria, Xander berates Gwen for lying to Sarah about them sleeping together. She plays it off like she was trying to make Sarah so jealous that she'd want him back. Her obvious lie just stokes his fury. Xander sneers, warning that if she ever pulls a stunt like that again, he'll make sure she regrets it. Gwen is all too happy to leave them both alone. As they exit the pub, Rachel begs her mother not to drag her back to court. They see Sarah, and Rachel suggests she hang out with her instead. Kristen reluctantly allows it. Over Sundays inside, Rachel gets overly personal with Sarah when she asks if she and Xander are getting a divorce. Rachel knows how hard that could be for Victoria, because she wishes she lived with her parents as a family. When Kristen takes the stand in court, EJ gets his sister to recount how she threatened him over her mother the night he was shot. Plus, the cops found a gun in her purse. However, under Belle's questioning, Kristen states that the bullet shot into EJ didn't match her gun. Later, Kristen follows EJ to the corridor. Does he really think she shot him? He doesn't know, but he's sure a tight-lipped Marlena does. Kristen knows Marlena wouldn't stay mum to protect her, but EJ counters that she's Marlena's granddaughter's mother. And Chanel is her grandson's wife, Kristen points out, and Gabby is her great-granddaughter's mother. So the shooter could be anyone. Yes, EJ says. Anyone. He eyes Belle as she emerges from the courtroom. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Marlena Evans has a theory about the shooter. It seems that it might have been Rachel Black who shot EJ DiMera. However, could Kristen DiMera suddenly confess to protect her little girl? Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with EJ, who sought out Marlena to get therapy. They had a hypnosis session that was very productive. After waking up from hypnosis, EJ realized the shooter was a female, which means it couldn't have been Johnny DiMera. While most people in Salem believe in Johnny's innocence, proving it to the court is another matter. Back to the hypnosis reveal, Marlena worried that it might not be admissible in court. That explains EJ delivering a subpoena to Doc on Wednesday, August 13, 2025. Will the court believe it, though? EJ told Marlena that there were only 4 women on the property that night: Kristen, Gabby Hernandez, Chanel Dupree DiMera, and Ava Vitale. However, EJ is assuming it's a woman who shot him and not a little girl. That brings us to Marlena, who shares a theory with Belle Black. Although Belle is the prosecutor, she is also Rachel's aunt. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that while Belle and Marlena are debating, Rachel will continue dealing with her guilty conscience. The little girl testified, but then freaked out to Kristen and Brady Black over sending Johnny to prison. It sounds like maybe Rachel was the one who could have shot that gun. During the Tuesday, August 12th episode, Kristen promised Rachel that she would do anything and everything for her. While a lot of parents say that, Kristen clearly means it. The blonde hasn't been around for a lot of Rachel's life, as she was bouncing between prison and being a fugitive. At one time, Brady took the fall, so Kristen didn't go to prison for stabbing Victor Kiriakis. The scheme didn't work, but it seems that Kristen could do the same thing for Rachel. Will Kristen confess to shooting Johnny in order to save her daughter from the consequences? While Kristen knows that their daughter needs help, she's also just a little girl. Do you think Rachel is guilty of shooting EJ? Will Kristen confess to protect her child? Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of August 18th suggest some curveballs are ahead. Fans can expect Johnny DiMera to get his verdict. Chad DiMera could struggle with regret. Plus, Sophia Choi and Sarah Horton-Kyriakis, will both wrestle with their consciences. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's begin with Johnny, who is still on trial for attempted murder. EJ DiMera had a hypnosis session where he learned it was a female who shot him. However, the man has no clue that the guilty party isn't a woman, but likely a little girl. It seems more possible that Rachel Black might have been the one to pull the trigger that night. Johnny will end up getting his verdict. So, will he go to prison? Or does he get to keep his freedom? Over with Chad, he will have some regrets. The man knows that Kat Green has feelings for him. However, the whole situation with impersonating Abigail DiMera has really complicated any chance they had of a romance. Chad will have some regrets, so maybe he will realize that he friend-zoned Kat a little too long, especially when she claimed that to receive soup from a former flame. Of course, that soap was from Rafe Hernandez, but Kat had to cover. Sophia and Sarah are both sharing the same secret. They will also both wrestle with their consciences, but for different reasons. Sophia wanted to open up to Ari Horton, but kept the truth bottled up. As Tate Black starts asking more questions and even seeks legal advice, Sophia could panic even more. While Sophia feels terrible about Tesoro and Tate, she will distract herself by targeting Holly Jonas. A summer promo shows Holly passed out and Sophia taking scandalous photos, making sure to partially disrobe her former BFF. So, it sounds like poor Holly will have to deal with the Timu version of Jan Spears. Meanwhile, Sarah will be keeping that same secret from Brady Black. Now, Brady has really been there for Sarah. So, this kind of deception might not be easily forgiven. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of August 18th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that fans saw Belle Black break up with EJ DiMera after a difficult day in court. Was Belle right to end their relationship, or was she overreacting? Should Belle and EJ even be going up against each other in court? EJ thought he had the ultimate out when he kept pushing Belle in court. Once Johnny DiMera got on the stand, EJ decided to turn to his ruthless side, just as he warned Johnny that he was going to do. EJ even went as far as to expose his and Belle's relationship in open court to prove his point. The judge was not impressed by EJ's antics. EJ tries to push for a mistrial, but the judge refused to go along with that. The judge also pointed out that EJ was grandstanding and trying to make a mockery of the court proceedings. EJ was chastised for his antics and warned never to try to pull anything like those stunts again. Belle knows that her job is on the line with this affair, and she cannot afford to get in trouble with the Attorney General, who has threatened to have her disbarred. Belle cannot believe that EJ claims to love her and is trying to get her fired. Belle seems to have come to her senses and realized that EJ was just playing her yet again. Belle told her mother that she was right and that she should have listened to her. Unfortunately, Belle didn't listen at all. Since Belle cannot be recused from this trial since her nephew is the defendant, will Belle end up getting her nephew sent to prison for attempted murder of his own father? Let's be honest, EJ has done a lot worse things than pulled his little stunt on the stand. EJ has committed some horrible crimes. Belle also tried to assign this case to someone else in her office, but the judge wouldn't agree, and neither would the Attorney General. Belle also should think about what she would be willing to do if this was her daughter instead of EJ's son. Honestly, EJ was much better with several other women than he is with Belle. Since they weren't exactly the most popular couple, no one is going to be too upset. However, it seems there's a lot more drama to come in the rest of the trial. Who will end up winning in the end? Will Belle end up sending her nephew to prison for a crime he didn't commit? Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Thursday, August 14th hint at some interesting moments in Salem. Someone attempts to defend their actions, while another presents a new theory they have and a character throws a fit. What's set to go down on Thursday? Time to find out. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Thursday, August 14th, reveal Xander Kyriakis will defend his actions to Sarah Horton-Kyriakis. Will she bring up the conversation she had with Gwen Rizchek? After all, Sarah not only saw Xander smooching it up with Gabby Hernandez at the bistro, but she also ran into Gwen later that day, who also claimed she and Xander were heading toward a reunion. The couple is estranged, which makes Xander's love life none of Sarah's business. However, Sarah may feel as if it didn't take Xander long before exploring other romantic options. While one Salem super couple is crumbling, another is remaining unified, as Chanel DiMera proves her loyalty to Johnny DiMera. Across town, Rachel Black will throw a fit. While the child has a mature way of conducting herself, she is still only a child, so her meltdown is completely understandable. However, will it raise flags for Brady Black and Kristen DiMera? Elsewhere, Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday indicate that Marlena Evans will have a new theory about a situation and share it with Belle Black. Is this about who shot E.J. DiMera? After all, during his hypnosis, he mentioned a she as the shooter, which disqualifies Johnny from the list of suspects entirely. Meanwhile, E.J. will confide in someone unexpected. From the sounds of it, E.J. is about to throw someone under the bus, once again at the trial, all in an effort to exonerate Johnny. So will he tell this unexpected confidant about his plans? Will Chanel be E.J.'s next victim in Johnny's trial? What are you looking forward to most during Thursday's show? Comment below. Watch your favorite Peacock soap daily, and check out SOS often for the best Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, and updates. After the August 14th episode of Days of Our Lives, EJ is convinced that Marlena is protecting the mysterious she who really shot him. He asked her if it was Sami. He wondered if it was Belle. Kristen threw her own and Gabby's names into the mix. But what if they're both wrong? And the person Marlena is really protecting is... What if the person Marlena is really protecting is... Marlena? Wait, hold on. Hear us out! Marlena has been having a really hard time of it lately. John's death really threw her for a loop. She's been having nightmares of that time when she was Stefano's Queen of the Night, and they traversed the streets of Paris surrounded by barely dressed extras. In the meantime, Susan swears she feels Stefano's spirit in the DiMera house. Could he still be alive? Even EJ had a moment of wondering about it. So how is this all connected to EJ's shooting? What if Stefano planted a memory in Marlena's mind before he died that would, like a sleeper agent, eventually drive her to shoot EJ? Badly. She'd miss any vital organs. Stefano doesn't want his Elvis dead. Elvis is just a means to an end for him. You know, like all human beings. And what was Stefano's motivation? Why, the same as Stefano's ongoing motivation, to possess Marlena. If he couldn't do it in life, he'll do it in death. Marlena is a good, near-saintly person. Obviously, when she dies, she will go to heaven and spend eternity with her beloved John because John was also good. Obviously, John is in heaven right now. Stefano, obviously, is not. And he's bored. No matter how many family members and associates are with him, he still yearns for Marlena. Stefano needs to ensure that Marlena ends up in hell with him. And getting her to shoot EJ is an excellent start. Fans were thrilled when Allison Sweeney recently brought Sami back to Days of Our Lives, twice. The first time was to console Johnny, who learned the horrible story of his conception. The second was when she came back to Salem to pay her final respects to the late John Black. Outside of the soap, and when she wasn't working on a Hallmark film, Sweeney had great fun appearing on Lego Masters Jr. Now, she's got another return to Salem booked, and she opened up about what Sami's going to be up to. Sweeney told TV Line that she had learned a lot about Legos when appearing on the fun competition show. But when asked if she'd ever been in a Hallmark Christmas film that involved Legos, she remarked, "You know, I have never heard of one, but that is a great idea." She also stated that she was working on a few Hallmark films to be released in 2026, noting that she was excited for them to premiere. The conversation then turned to Days and her August 4th return. She revealed, "I have a few more episodes in this return, and another return coming up in a couple of months. It's always fun to go back to that show." She stated that she truly loves playing her beloved character, as well as seeing the cast and crew whom she regards as family. "So it is like going home," she noted. Sami has been noticeably absent from Salem, even though her son, Johnny, is on trial for shooting EJ. When asked why she has not been included in the story, she remarked, "I would just cause problems if I got involved in that." She further added, I would make it worse, and everyone agreed. Laughs. I would just stir up more trouble. The conversation changed again, asking about what else she has going on. She explained that she came up with some ideas that she pitched to Hallmark that included other characters she hasn't played yet. She enjoys the challenge of finding other ways to tell stories, and happily remarked that she's going to Spain soon to shoot a couple of films. That was so fun and fresh to do, she happily noted. Alison Sweeney reached a milestone. The Days of Our Lives star celebrated her 10th anniversary with Hallmark, and she invited fans into this history-making moment. Sweeney shared a slideshow of her favorite moments with Hallmark. In her Instagram post, she revealed that Love on the Air was her favorite Hallmark movie to this day. Her husband, David Sanov, also loves the feel-good movie. In the film, Sweeney and her co-star Jonathan Scarf play two radio personalities who don't get along, but eventually fall in love. Time flies by. The movie premiered in 2015, and Sweeney is still thinking about it to this day. She can't believe that movie also marked the start of a long-running career with Hallmark. I can't believe it's been 10 years since I started making movies with Hallmark. One of my first is Love on the Air, originally titled Radio Hype. Was happy to dig up some photos from set in 2015 with John Scarf and David Lewis, Sweeney wrote in the caption. Even Sweeney's other co-star, David James Lewis, remarked, "How on earth does time move so quickly? What an absolute pleasure it was to work with you. I loved that we were able to have those rehearsals. An actor's dream. Also, what most actors say when they work with me." Sweeney got her start on Days as a teen actress. She returned to reprise her role as Sami, but she enjoys where her life is now. Sweeney left Hollywood for a slower-paced life in Arizona. In an interview, the actress said this change helped her shift her focus to family and wellness. Even though she's still close to her loved ones and friends, her life didn't feel tied to Hollywood. I mean, no, I don't miss Hollywood. I miss my family. I love my family. I go to visit them all the time, but they're not really in Hollywood or whatever. So no, I am thrilled with my life. I love how normal it is, Sweeney told Fox News Digital. Sweeney credits her family for keeping her grounded. She realized she needed to pull away from the harsh demands of work and beauty. During her move to Arizona, Sweeney noticed the calm she had never felt in Hollywood. Now, she strikes for balance with her bustling movie career with Hallmark. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, August 15th prove that no matter how much you give your kids, they still want more. EJ was the one shot, and he's still defending Johnny on charges of being the shooter. But that's not enough for John Roman DiMera. Now that EJ, thanks to Marlena's hypnosis, knows that he told her to put down the gun, he's desperate to think of a woman he can pin his shooting on and deliver Johnny the not guilty verdict EJ promised. Chanel already volunteered to confess to get Johnny off the hook. EJ is excited about this idea. Reasonable doubt means his boy goes free. Johnny, however, is less thrilled. He doesn't want to go to prison, but he doesn't want his wife to go either. So even though he knows EJ is obliged to put Chanel on the stand, he asks his dad to take it easy on his daughter-in-law. Even if Chanel has never exactly taken it easy on EJ, Paulina is very worried about Chanel being forced to testify in court. Other people? Sure, they are obliged to do their civic duty. Paulina's precious baby girl? She shouldn't be put through such trauma. Paulina has gotten Chanel out of criminal trouble before. Paulina is ready to do so again. Hey, remember when she ordered Belle to be professional in prosecuting her own nephew? Belle? Sure, it's her duty not to do anything that will make Mayor Price look bad. Paulina? Isn't there anything Belle can do to make Chanel's experience more pleasant? Leo, the juror, has to stay in a hotel for the duration of Johnny's trial. He's assigned a roommate. Leo is his usual Leo self. Pray for the poor man who has to listen to him. Here are your Days of Our Lives photo spoilers for Friday, August 15th, 2025. It's a big day in court when Chanel finally takes the stand, hoping EJ won't be too hard on her as she tries to save her husband. Chanel exudes confidence when she is in the witness box and tells the truth as she knows it. She expects EJ to whip out that memory card, but she does not expect Johnny to be so angry when he does. After court, Johnny takes his father aside and voices his fury. In fact, he might not want EJ to represent him anymore. Leo is not happy when he is sequestered with a man who looks like he will cause problems. He even needs EMT attention, so it's Javi to the rescue. At least, he gets to see his boyfriend after all. Over at the Brady pub, Tate and Sophia are surprised when Ariana walks in with little Tesoro in the stroller. Even Ari is surprised by how emotional the moment turns out to be. However, only Sophia knows why she and Tate look like they are about to fall apart. EJ is determined to get the jury to see that Chanel could have been the female who shot him because she had motive and opportunity. But is Leo buying this story? Johnny takes his father to task after Chanel's testimony. EJ does everything that Johnny asked him not to do, and Johnny is ready to fire his father. Leo is not happy with his fellow juror/roommate, who quickly needs an EMT to help him. But at least Javi is the EMT who arrives. Leo and Javi didn't think they would see one another for days after the judge ordered the jury to be sequestered. But an emergency brings Javi to Leo's Salem Inn room. Ari and Tate are confused when Sophia has such a strange reaction. When Ari brings Tesoro to the pub, here are your Days of Our Life thieves. Spoilers for Friday, August 15th, 2025. Chanel is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that Johnny is acquitted, but so is EJ. In fact, EJ may be willing to take things too far. When he finally gets Chanel on the stand, he does not go easy on her, despite Johnny requesting that his father not hurt his wife. Paulina is just as nervous as Johnny and Chanel, and tells Belle as much. She worries that EJ will try to pin the shooting on her daughter, and Paulina might be right about that. Johnny and Paulina are incensed as they listen to EJ question Chanel and realize he is ready to use that memory card in his efforts to get Johnny off. In fact, Johnny is so angry that he fires EJ. As he pointed out to Chanel earlier, his dad worked for him and had to do exactly what Johnny wanted. And Johnny did not want this. Who will defend Johnny now? Is Justin available? When Sophia made the decision to give away her baby without ever letting Tate see his own son, she didn't think it would affect Tate so much. She worried he would become attached to the baby, but never thought he would be attached without ever setting eyes on him. Sophia also feels that pull toward her son and has to try to keep a straight face when Ari brings him to the Brady pub. She sees how Tate is drawn to the baby as well, and then witnesses how he feels after Ari is gone. Sophia does her best to comfort Tate, but she also needs comfort and doesn't have anyone to give it to her. Will she confide in Ariana? Sophia doesn't even realize that Javi already suspects that she is Tesoro's mother. As for Tesoro's other foster dad, Leo, he ends up sequestered with some jury members he does not seem to like, which could make for some entertaining scenes. Welcome to the Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. EJ is now convinced that Belle is the one who shot him, but frankly, that just sounds a little preposterous to us, as it does to Gwen. When EJ theorized that Belle was so tortured by the idea of being in love with him that she decided to take care of the problem by eliminating him, all we could do was laugh. Say what? Does EJ not know the woman he has been sleeping with all year? Has it really all been about sex if EJ thinks Belle Black would ever try to kill anyone for such a ridiculous and silly reason? We don't care how much her father objected to the relationship. That's just not Belle. Plus, her reactions when she learned EJ was shot were completely genuine, as was her worry as she sat by his comatose side in the hospital. And yes, while it is Sami, she was nowhere near Salem when the shooting took place. Marlena is definitely trying to protect someone, and she said as much to Belle, but we don't think she is trying to protect either of her daughters. She was very insistent that Sami wasn't the culprit. Could Marlena be thinking of someone else? Is Marlena even on the right track? Because we are sure that EJ is on the wrong track and might pin this crime on the wrong person. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full duel recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, If you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Although she's no longer playing Teresa Donovan on Days of Our Lives, Jen Lilley has continued to share details of her personal life with her legion of devoted fans. Whether she's dealing with Christmas issues or starring in heartwarming romances on the Hallmark channel, her life off-screen is as full of adventure as her roles on screen, and the fans know it. Recently, she traded in her scripts and sets for sandy shores and ocean breezes, sharing her fun in the sun with her dedicated followers. Former Days of Our Lives star Jen Lilley wrote simply on Instagram, "Salt and sun, and so much fun, Hawaiian Maui." Along with that, she shared 3 beautiful beach pics. The first was of one of her running toward the beach as the waves rolled in. Next was a picture of both her and one of her daughters posing in front of the ocean. Up third was a photo that captured the beach, but this time it was framed by the twisting, gnarled branches of a tree in the foreground. The horizon melded with the blue sky that was dotted with some wispy clouds, creating a serene and inviting atmosphere. And last was a pic of Lilley herself, fresh from the ocean and kneeling on the beach with a big smile on her face. At Purple Temp Socks 3 asked, "Aw, you two are gorgeous. Looks like so much fun. Is the water freezing?" They didn't get an answer, but considering it's Maui, the water was definitely not cold. Fan at DonWayne7 gushed, "Two peas in paradise, where the scenery is breathtaking and the women are pretty." At Dradoland truly got the relaxing vibe from Lilley's pics as they posted, "What an amazing girl trip! You girls look relaxed, happy, and stress-free. Nothing to worry about except what to eat." The former Days of Our Lives star really struck a chord with the fans who enjoyed the beautiful beach pics. At Love and Blessings, always happily commented, "So happy you are having fun. Gorgeous photos, beautiful doll, big love and hugs." While at Hallgirl7 wrote, "This is so awesome, Jen. I want to go to Hawaii with you." A fan going by at Unknown Legend 1986 responded to the post with, "It was nice to meet you at the airport," and Lilley replied to them, "At Unknown Legend 1986 you too. Thanks for saying hello." Lilley's fans gushed over the amazing pics and loved her fabulous bathing suit. At Stefter Media tried to guess specifically where the photos were taken, speculating, "My guess? Olawalu, past the polytunnel on the way to Lahaina." Whether they were correct, we'll probably never know, but it's nice to see Lilley enjoying her best life. Here is your Days of Our Lives recap for Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Chanel greeted Johnny as he arrived home during court recess. He told her all about EJ's hypnosis session, in which he remembered the shooter being female. Chanel worried that EJ would now try to pin the shooting on her. Johnny assured Chanel that it would never happen. Chanel was sure that EJ would use the video of her on the memory stick as evidence when she took the stand. Johnny said he wouldn't allow EJ to do that. He was even going to have EJ strike her from the witness list, but Chanel told him that she was ready to testify. Then, she planned to be by Johnny's side through the rest of the trial. Later, in Horton Town Square, Paulina approached Chanel to talk about the trial. "I wasn't about to let you go down to that court and face EJ DiMera all by yourself," Paulina said. Paulina was surprised to hear that EJ remembered a woman shooting him. "If he has to point the finger at me, so be it," Chanel declared. EJ trudged into the DiMera living room, thinking back to when Marlena told him that she didn't recommend another session. He wondered if Marlena didn't want the truth to come out. Gwen appeared and interrupted EJ's thoughts. She poured him a drink and asked how things had gone in court. EJ told Gwen that he remembered that Johnny did not shoot her. "So pray tell, who did shoot you?" Gwen asked. "That I do not know, but I'm quite sure Marlena does," EJ replied. He was sure that Marlena was protecting someone. Gwen agreed it was suspicious that Marlena didn't want to conduct another hypnosis session. Gwen wondered if Sami could be the culprit, but EJ said Marlena brushed that idea off. EJ thought that Marlena might be trying to protect Belle, but Gwen wasn't so sure. EJ felt that Belle's conflicted feelings for him before the shooting may have led her to pull the trigger. Gwen thought that was a little extreme, but EJ pointed out that he induces irrational reactions in women. "For instance, Samantha once shot me right in the head," he said. Gwen wondered why Belle would then allow her own nephew to take the fall. EJ felt Belle might believe Johnny would be acquitted. In Marlena's living room, Marlena told Belle that she didn't think EJ's subconscious was capable of remembering who shot him, so she wasn't going to do any more sessions. Belle was surprised that Marlena believed that EJ remembered a female shooting him. Belle saw the look on Marlena's face and said, "You do know who shot him, don't you? You know who shot EJ?" Marlena admitted she had a theory, but no proof. "You are so enmeshed in this case, both personally and professionally, that I think it's best if I don't say anything," Marlena said. Later, Belle and Marlena arrived at the courthouse, where Marlena waited to testify. Belle apologized in advance for having to attack her mom's credibility on the stand. When Marlena finally took the stand, EJ questioned her about the practice of hypnosis before talking about the results of his hypnosis sessions. Marlena testified that, "You remembered asking her to put down the gun. When I questioned you further, you remembered that the shooter was a woman." "The shooter was a woman," EJ declared to the jury. "And since the defendant is not a woman, the only logical conclusion is that John Roman DiMera is completely innocent." When Belle questioned her mother, she got Marlena to admit that hypnosis can produce false memories. "Is it true that the conscious mind could override the subconscious mind even under hypnosis?" Belle asked. Marlena said that it could. When EJ asked for a redirect, Marlena claimed she believed that EJ's memories were legitimate and genuine. EJ questioned Kristen next, who testified that she was at home showering when EJ was shot. She recalled how she and EJ had a fight over her mother that night. "I was desperate to find out where my mother was, but you couldn't tell me where she was if you were dead," Kristen pointed out. She also admitted there was a gun in her purse. Kristen told Belle that the bullet removed from EJ's body didn't match her gun. During recess, EJ informed Kristen that he believed that Marlena was protecting someone. Xander surprised Sarah in the Kyriakis living room as she picked up Victoria's toys. She told him the nanny would bring the baby down in a bit and asked how his session with Marlena went. Xander was happy to report that Marlena agreed to take him on as a patient. Sarah wasn't yet impressed. But Xander thought it was good that he was making an effort. Sarah still harped on Xander for getting drunk and taking a swing at Brady, but Xander defended himself. "You deliberately provoked me by kissing him," Xander said. Sarah insisted that it didn't give Xander the right to physically assault someone. Xander said he didn't want to argue because he had a hangover. When he asked for coffee, Sarah slapped him clear across the face. "And here, I thought you abhorred violence," Xander said. Sarah thought she gave Xander a taste of his own medicine. "That slap was also for you, for breaking our marriage vows the first chance you got," Sarah accused. Xander was confused. "I know you jumped into bed with that British slut who still has the hots for you," she added. Xander insisted he had not slept with Gwen recently. He admitted that he came close to sleeping with Gwen, but couldn't go through with it. "You and I, we're not together. We still are legally married. I couldn't. I had to leave. I could never cheat on you," Xander said. Sarah didn't care because she considered kissing to be cheating. "Just go get Victoria and leave," Sarah demanded. Xander later ran into Gwen in Horton Town Square and laid into her for telling Sarah what had happened that night. "What the hell is wrong with you, Gwen?" Xander asked. Gwen tried to defend herself. "They say that jealousy sparks romantic feelings, and I thought if I could make her jealous, she would remember how much she loves you," Gwen lied. Xander accused Gwen of only wanting to cause trouble. At the Brady pub, Kristen tried to cheer up Rachel by talking about their shopping day, but Rachel wasn't having it. Rachel was glad her testimony was over, but was worried about Johnny. She also worried about Kristen taking the stand. Kristen finally cheered Rachel up by talking about Grandma Rachel. They both remarked that the fact that she always wore white was a little weird. "I'm so happy Uncle EJ finally told you where she was. I know you missed her," Rachel said with a smile. When Rachel learned that Brady had a flat tire and she'd have to go with Kristen to court, she threw a fit. When Rachel spotted Sarah, she asked if she could stay with her. Kristen reluctantly agreed.